So yeah, you gotta forgive me if I'm a little nervous.
Don't worry about it.
This is my first time, and I'm a huge fan, but I'm trying to keep it down to a minimum. So anyway, the latest Ratt album, Infestation, you guys managed to capture the classic sound, yet it still sounds pretty fresh, and it doesn't sound dated or nostalgic. Is this something that came pretty natural, or did you guys have to work pretty hard to kind of make it that way?
Actually, I don't think we worked really hard to make it that way. We did discuss that we wanted to keep the same, sound as the early Ratt sound, the sound that made them famous, and also the energy and excitement, but write new, updated material with that kind of a sound, and that's what we achieved. And I think we did hit it out of the ballpark, because I think all the songs are good in their own right. But it does have the same energy and sound as early Ratt stuff. And I agree with you. I think we got a little lucky and also planned it. So.
Right. Yeah, because it definitely doesn't sound dated or anything.
No,
it sounds super fresh, and the production quality is just...
Oh, Elvis Pascal, he's a great producer, and he really did a good job on the record.
Had you worked with him before? Or?
Never.
Oh, that's great.
Appreciate you.
So, what does Carlos Cavazo do to warm up for a show, to get pumped up? Like, do you have like a ritual? Like, some people have like a certain way of kind of chilling and doing their thing.
What do I do, Robbie, to warm up? Actually, all of us have little rituals. We warm up our voices, we warm up our guitar, we jam back in, we warm up our solos, and go over certain parts of songs. Definitely there's a warm-up procedure, because if you don't warm up, you go on stage, you could come out there a little stiff,
Right.
So it definitely helps.
So they're like burning incense or yoga or anything with that?
No, nothing. We will stretch a little bit sometimes, maybe jumping jacks or something like that, get your blood going. Especially if you're a little tired for that particular day. But there's definitely we warm up for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. So I have to say, I was really extremely lucky to see Quiet Riot back in the day, back in like '93, '94. I think it was the years I were at the Cotton Club here in Atlanta. And
I remember that.
Do you remember that? That was such a great show, and I had such a good time.
I remember that place.
And one of the things I noticed is that was kind of a downgrade in venue size for not just you guys, but for a lot of your peers. So was that kind of a hard pill to swallow at first, or was it just one of those things where you just kind of continued to enjoy what you were doing and just kind of take it as it comes, kind of?
Well, we enjoy any gig. If the people are into it, we love it. If the people are there with us and into it as much as we are, we love it. But one thing people got to remember: we played the clubs longer than we ever played the arenas, so it's like no big deal. Playing a club is not a problem.
So it's kind of like you're going back home again.
Yeah. But obviously the arenas are definitely a lot more fun. More people. But just the way life is. You got ups and downs. It's the way it is.
So classic hard rock and metal seems to be enjoying some success after being kind of cast into a ditch for a little while. I mean, so how does it feel to get to be doing it all over again on a bigger level? But did you see it coming, or were you just kind of going with the flow?
I didn't really see it coming, actually. I just going with the flow. I'm having a good time with it, and I've been really lucky with my career. I really enjoy everything I do, whether it's the bigger places or the smaller places, or the big tours or the smaller tours. It's all fun. I love playing music. It's what it's all about. It's how I put food on the table, and I'm a musician whether I do good or whether I do bad.
It's a great job, man. Beats what I used to do. I used to work in IT. Although I could listen to a lot of Ratt and Quiet Riot down in the basement. Nobody knew I was doing anything, so that was good. So in Quiet Riot, you were the only guitarist in the band, and now in Ratt, you're with another really stellar guitar player. So you've got two stellar lead players. Was that transition a bit challenging for you?
Actually, no. I really fit in really well with these guys, and it just kind of slid right into place. And me and Warren, I think we were very similar in many ways. Our styles are very similar. We're influenced by many of the same people, and we have the same goal kind of in our playing. And I think that makes for a better union between the two of us.
That's awesome. I mean, I have to say, your sound, as far as being in the band, has totally just meshed into the sense that, sonically, I wouldn't have even been able to tell that it was somebody that hadn't been in the band for so long time. So
yeah, that's the whole point of it. And I'm really happy to be with these guys. It's like a dream come true for a guitar player, really, to play with Ratt. Come on, I've always been a fan of their music. They've always, I've known them throughout the years also. And oddly enough, I was good friends with Robin Crosby before I knew any of these guys. So.
Oh right. Yeah. How did you know Robin?
I met him in the LA club scene. He was always very cool to me. We used to hang out, and always would keep in touch on the phone. And eventually, I took off with Quiet Riot. He took off with Ratt, and kind of our friendship sort of faded a little bit with success. But we still, knew each other and knew like each other and all that crap.
That's great. That's awesome. So let's see. So what 4 bands or artists would we be surprised to hear that you were a fan of? Pardon? What 4 artists would we be surprised to hear that you were a fan of?
Gypsy Kings. I love flamenco music. I love classical music. That's all I listen to, really. You see rock bands. I like Foo Fighters. I like who else? Mainly a lot of 70s and 80s rock, but TV themes. I like that. I have this record, all TV songs. I listen to that once in a while.
Oh, that's awesome.
That'd probably shock everybody. I listen to a lot of Motown, like R&B stations in LA. I like Motown music.
Oh, that's great. I'm a big fan of the Leonard Nimoy album. Have you ever heard that?
No, I haven't heard that.
Oh, that's so incredible. Leonard Nimoy singing just the craziest songs ever.
Check that out.
It's really
I've heard about that. And William Shatner has one too, or something.
William Shatner sings "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds."
I heard about that.
That's awesome. That's killer. Are you a jazz guitar fan at all?
I like jazz guitar. Yeah, I do. I'm not much of a jazz player. I know a lot of jazz chords, but playing jazz is a whole different ballpark. I never really messed with that.
There's a great guitar player out of California named Charlie Hunter, who plays 8-string guitar, and he's fantastic. Top 3 strings or bass strings.
I listen to a lot.
Oh yeah.
I love it. There's a jazz station where I listen to a lot.
I bet you're missing LA's weather right now, right?
Well, it's really hard. I was talking to my girlfriend recently. It's like almost 100 degrees there, I think, or 90 or something. It's probably not as hot as here, maybe.
Yeah, but ain't the humidity this year.
Prior heat there. It definitely was hot up on stage. It was really hot. I was like ready to pass out.
I bet it was. You guys sounded awesome.
Thank you so much.
But anyway, back in the early days of the LA scene, were there any bands that didn't make it that you kind of thought wow, these guys should have been huge?
Yes. A La Carte, the band A La Carte, a 3-piece band. They're very much like a ZZ Top kind of band. I thought for sure they would be big. Smile, who Tommy Gerber, the guitar player, went on to play with Eddie Money, and the rest of the guys, I'm not sure what they're doing. I thought for sure they would be big. Smile. And then some of George Lynch's bands, like Exciter, I thought they would be big, but he ended up making it with Dokken.
I'm sure there's so many bands.
Oh, there was a lot of bands. It really was. Hard to remember them all.
Only so many made it out.
Yeah,
I've heard some of these demos of bands that never made it. I couldn't believe didn't make it.
Right. Yeah, there were a lot of good bands. There really was. A lot of great bands.
Yeah. So okay. So this is kind of a good fun question for you. So if you could line up any band, all the members of one band side by side, and just run down the line and slap them all in the face, who would it be?
One band?
Yeah. If you could just slap every member of a band, who would it be?
Probably some of these new bands that do a lot of dancing stuff, these boy bands or something like that, I'm not against it, but it's like that kind of music's almost kind of taken over, and I need more room for rock to take over. I'm tired of that dancing stuff,
Right. Well, that kind of goes into another question I had. Is what's your attitude on things like American Idol and stuff? Do you think things like that have kind of stripped the soul of music and really kind of taken over the struggle of actually trying to work hard to make it big?
That's a good question. That might, actually, I'm kind of for it because if it helps people succeed in their career, that's good. I'm all for people succeeding in their career. But I didn't think about it in terms of what you said. Whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I've been a musician since I was 14, and I'm 36, and I don't look pretty at all. I would never go on a show like that and make it. So I've always been curious as to some people's attitudes. It's do you feel like it's? I didn't look at it the way you did, where it kind of helps them make the dream come true. But I kind of go, well, the fun of the fight isn't there,
Right. That is a good point, though, because a person that maybe isn't necessarily really attractive probably wouldn't be accepted for your right. That's not cool because that's one good thing about rock. I don't think it doesn't matter what you look like. It's your music, and your attitude, and I don't think it really has much to do with your looks. Maybe in the 80s it did a little bit, but I don't think it does anymore. And I'm for that. I think people should just go up there and be themselves. That's what it's all about. The minute you're not yourself, the people will recognize that, and they will cue in on that.
Oh yeah. Now you made me look at it a different way, though. But that's pretty cool, though. So back in '85, you participated in the Ronnie James Dio Hearing Aid project. What was that project like? And was it a positive experience, or there were a lot of egos in that room. You know, I was always curious as to like, was it a good positive experience?
It was a lot of fun, actually. I got to meet a lot of people I hadn't met, and everybody was real good. It was real nice, positive spirits. I mean, it was for a good cause, and we were all for helping, kids that are starving and things like that. People have helped us in our life. It's time to give back, But I had a good time, a real good experience, real memorable.
I was just listening to that album the other night before I even knew I was going to talk to you, and I was like, I love the solos on this record. That was such an epic album, though. But classic hard rock and metal bands seem to be. Let me see. I already asked you that. Sorry. You recently worked with Tim Ripper Owens.
Yeah.
On his album. Yeah. And how did you get hooked up with him? And are there any of the artists that you'd like to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
I hooked up through Bob Kulick, a producer. Bob Kulick was doing this record. Yeah, he called me up. Yeah. But I met Tim a few times in the club scene in LA. He's a really good guy, really funny. I enjoy hanging out with him, and I was really happy to be part of his album. It was really cool. I had a good time. He was in the studio when I did my part, though. But
really?
I've hung with him a couple times, so I know him really well.
So, is there anybody else that you haven't worked with yet that you'd like to do something like that with again? Because that was a great collaboration.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I love to work with Ryan James Dio. That would have been cool. Came close to it a couple times. Who else would I like to work with? Eddie Van Halen. That'd be cool. There's a lot of people I'd like to work with, probably.
So, how was your relationship with Dio? Did you have like kind of a good friendship with Ronnie at all? Or everybody took his passing really hard. I mean, that was a really sad loss.
Yeah, we didn't call each other on the phone or anything like that, but we were good friends. We knew each other. When we ran into each other in the club scene, we'd just give each other a hug. And I knew a lot of people he knows. And the last time I had seen him was, it must have been like 10 years ago. It was quite a while ago. Actually, me and my girlfriend were invited to his birthday party last year, I think it was. And I was on the road, but my girlfriend went, and she hung out with all those people and stuff, and she had a great time. And I wasn't able to go. I wish I would have went.
It's a sad loss, though, and at least you got to work with him. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
So I've been watching VH1 Classics a lot. Metal Mania. They love the hell out of Quiet Riot videos. Like they play you guys.
All those old 80s videos are kind of cool. They really are. They have more of a meaning, I think, than a lot of videos of today.
They really do. They were always kind of fun to
more behind there. If you watch closely.
So I was always curious, like when you watch Quiet Riot videos, do you ever kind of smile and kind of remember good times?
Memories of what happened during that time period, and sometimes filming those videos was a little bit of a pain, but it was cool. It really was. I don't regret anything that we did.
Oh, that was great. And then let's see. So finally, I got one more question. Last one is if you could put a dream band together with any musicians, dead or alive, who would be in it? But you have to be in it also.
Well, first of all, I think Ratt's my dream band. I love being in this band. But other band, I had to say me, Jimi Hendrix, John Bonham, and maybe something like John Entwistle.
Oh man, sign me up, man! I'd totally go see that.
I'm a real big fan of Jimi Hendrix. He really changed it for me when I heard him.
I'm actually going to Seattle for the first time in my life. I'm gonna go visit his memorial. So that's really cool. So, and do you have anything else to say like a last line to say to the Ratt fans out there?
I'm really glad we came here to Atlanta and play. And actually, I'm an Atlanta boy. I was born here in Atlanta, and it's good to be back home for one day. But I'm really having a good time here in the South, and I hope everybody comes down and rocks with us.
Oh, and do you guys have dates planned for after this run? Or
we have more shows with the Scorpions and some of our own as well. We're going ready to go to Orlando, then Tampa, then we're working our way towards New Orleans, and we got Arizona and Texas and others as well.
Will you guys be doing a headlining run after this?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, after this we'll be doing flyouts and things like that. So.
Please come back to Atlanta, man.
Oh, definitely we will.
Definitely, I'll buy you a drink or something when you're in town.
Thank you,
dude. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate your time, man. Really, thanks a lot.
Yeah.